Hi, welcome to Compass Control Certification C1, getting started with Compass Navigator. My name is Glenn Genta and I'll be teaching the class today. And we'd like to welcome you to Compass Control. The class today, we're going to talk about Compass Control, welcome to it, how to load the Navigator software suite. Then we take a quick overview of the actual Navigator interface. Follow that by actually getting in and programming a file within Compass Navigator. And then there'll be a little discussion about what happens after certification, some of the resources that are available to you, and then how to become an authorized Compass reseller based on your certification. Well, like I said, thank you for your interest. We're at Key Digital. We're very happy to present Compass Control. This is a product line that's been in development for quite some time. As you know, we are a global leader in digital video distribution. All design and engineering are performed on site here in our facility in Mount Vernon, New York. That includes all of the Compass products. And there's a wide selection of products that we offer, from cable and wiring through video distribution and signal processing, matrix switchers, and now with Compass Control, a full automation system. So let's take a look at the class, what's going to happen. Well, first of all, I want to give you an understanding of what to expect from this class. But then we're going to take a look at the components of the control system. And then there's a process involved in getting a file together and putting it actually onto the controller, which is the iOS 5, iPad, iPod Touch, and iPhone devices. So the first thing is, this is a C1 level class, and there are 5 sections to it. And it's going to cover basic Compass products as well as basic Navigator programming. There's a lot more to the programming software than we're going to discuss today, but today it's just going to be a very basic overview of it. And then once you're done with that, you can take the test, the exam, and once you pass the exam, you become a certified Compass programmer. Now, as I said, there are 5 sections to this class, and you can stop at any point. You can go back and retake a section if you want to, or you can retake the entire class. And understand that it's the knowledge in the class itself that's important, not the fact that you took the class. So if you wanted to, you can skip the class and just go through and take the exam if you feel like you already know everything there is to know about Compass. And there, you just have to pass with an 80% score on the exam, and then you become a certified Compass programmer. The Compass control system is comprised primarily of 4 different parts. The iPad is used as the controller, as the user interface. We're using the iPad, the iPod Touch, or the iPhone, but we say that the iPad should be the go-to controller because of the real estate that it offers to give your customers a bigger device to actually be able to operate from. The KD MC2500 master controller is the hub of the system. It's LAN-based, and it allows IR, RS-232, sensor control, relays, and triggers. Then if you add a matrix switcher, right, not only do you get world-class video distribution, as you know from our products that are already in the field, but you also then expand your control options from the Compass control system. If I take my control and I route it through my matrix switchers, which they're already capable of doing, I now have a lot more control options at my fingertips. The last part of the control system is the Navigator software. Compass Navigator is the proprietary PC editor for programming in Compass. It's free to certified dealers, and we're going to be spending a lot of time in Navigator today. Now, Compass is the first major control system that was built from the ground up on the Apple iOS 5 backbone. Right? So as I said, we want to use the iPad as the main control interface because it's got a lot of control capabilities to it. It's high resolution 9.7-inch color touchscreen. It can be used in either portrait or landscape configuration. And again, use the iPad as the go-to controller, but offer the iPod Touch or the iPhone as a secondary controller, or additional iPads if the homeowner already owns them as secondary or additional controllers. And by using the iDevices, we have all the hot features that the end users are already expecting. You can, use the swipe function, flick, to change sources or change zones or to change control interfaces. We have horizontal and vertical sliders with programming capability that you can track exact levels and give a digital readout of what those levels are. You can import custom graphics in order to make a very customized, personalized interface. Can also get mounted in the wall. There's a number of products. We've partnered with the iPort products. You plug this in, it makes a nice 10-inch color touchscreen in-wall controller. Now the MC2500, as I said, this is the hub. This is the black box that sits in the rack with all the gear, and it's going to get the signals from the iDevices and then route IR, RS-232, IP, and trigger commands to the particular devices. It sits on the network, it's LAN-based. The front panel has the LED indicators on them, as well as a learning window for IR. So if our database, as extensive as it is, does not have a particular device in it, you can actually learn the IR codes for that particular device. The rear panel has the 2 relays, the 8 I/O ports, and these are multifunction I/O ports. They're going to offer bidirectional IR, two-way RS-232 with feedback, sensors being either audio, video, or voltage sensing, and they can also be used, these 8 I/O ports, as triggers to provide a voltage differential in order to trigger a subwoofer or maybe a distribution amplifier. There is also a USB port in order to configure the device, and that gets done through the MC2500 Device Manager. Following the C1 class, there is another course, C1.2, on the MC2500 Device Manager and how to use that to set up the KDMC2500. If you want to expand your system in order to offer video distribution using one of our key digital matrix switchers, you also, as an added benefit, get the ability to expand your control options. Not only within the system rack itself, locally to the system, but also remotely in any room that you're distributing video to. You can route bidirectional IR and two-way RS-232 control signals through the matrix switcher to one of the baluns in the remote location. Now the wiring is very simple. There's 3 wires essentially that hook this up in order to provide control over the matrix switch, route IR, and route RS-232 signals. All 3 of these wires come with the MC2500. Now the Navigator Programming, this is Compass Navigator. It's a proprietary software. It's free to certified dealers. And what we're going to look at today is an overview of the Compass Navigator. We're going to look at the interface. We're going to go through the steps needed to create a basic file, a basic project. And we're also going to show you a very unique feature that we have called IntelliBuilder. I'm going to show you that in operation. So we're going to see how to build a basic system. We're not going to go too deep into this. That's for the C2 and C3 level classes. But we're going to go in and build a very simple single zone project file. After that, once you're certified, you can download the software. My recommendation is to download the programming manual and then build a basic project using the programming steps. And don't forget to follow up. There are the manager classes, starting with the MC2500 Device Manager, but then there's also 3 classes on database managers, the IR database, the RS-232 database, as well as the IP database. So those are also C-Level 1 courses, and I recommend you take those before you start experimenting in Compass Navigator. Now, you need to understand the process here. What happens? Well, you're going to get the iPad, the iDevice, whether it's an iPad or an iPhone or an iPod Touch. And then you load the app on that. Now, the app is free. You download it from the iStore and you put it onto the iDevice. You're going to search for it using Compass Control. Put that on the iDevice. Then you're going to go online to the dealer-only password-protected website, and you're going to register the iDevice to a registration key. Okay, there's a license involved. The license has a $300 retail cost to it, and each iDevice has to have its own registration key. So the iDevice has a device ID, and it gets married essentially to the registration key. Now, what happens if the customer destroys the iPad somewhere along the line? You can take that registration key and apply it to a new iPad. So once that's all done, now the iDevice is ready to get the project into it. But first it has to be programmed. That gets programmed once again using Compass Navigator, and we're going to go into that in detail. And then that gets uploaded to the Key Digital server, right? It's a secure server. You have your own spot on that server. You upload the project to the server, and then using the app itself, the project gets downloaded into the iPad. And that's essentially what we want you to understand. There are the four major parts of the Compass system. There's the iDevices as the controllers. There's the MC2500 master controller. Using one of our matrix switchers, you can expand your control options and capabilities. And then there is the Navigator software. And you're going to take your iDevice and register it using the registration license, create the file, the project, inside of Navigator, and then upload that to the server where it gets pulled into the iDevice. Right? After this, we're going to talk about what happens after your certification, but that's the beginning of this